Hi everyone, today we're going to be learning how to mend clothing. Well, you're going to be learning with me because this is a bit new for me. But we're going to focus on visible mending. So a couple years ago, my roommate patched one of my pairs of jeans using this visible mending technique, which originated from a Japanese art form called Sashiko. I'm going to leave some resources about that below hand, just so you can be aware, and also it's a really fascinating history, and it's important that we acknowledge where this originally came from. But as you can see from this pattern, we have another piece of denim underneath the patch, and then these stitches are reinforcing it. Today we're going to do a horizontal stitch vertically, and then we're going to cross over all of those stitches with a horizontal stitch, and it's really simple. It looks a bit complicated, but I'm confident we can do this together. You're going to need some thread. I'm using embroidery floss because that's what I have with me. A needle. If you have one that has a larger eye up here, it will make it easier to thread the needle. And then I have a patch that's already in my pant leg from another pair of jeans that I did some sort of craft on earlier. And then I'm using an embroidery hoop to stabilize the patch and the jeans together, but you can also use safety pins. I just didn't have any with me today. So to get started, thread your needle with the embroidery floss and make sure you double knot the end so it doesn't come through. And then depending on what item of clothing you're using, you might want to have different material as your patch, but because I'm doing fixing a pair of jeans, it's just going to be easier to use denim, but you could also do like some cute floral print. You can really make it your own, which I appreciate. To get started, I'm going to just sew underneath the fabric. So I'm going to take my needle and kind of weave it through my pant leg, and then go from underneath the fabric, so the needle's going to come through this way, so that the knot doesn't show on the outside. And as I mentioned earlier, we're just going to do a quick little running stitch. If you learned to sew when you were little, my grandma taught me a little bit. It's just a simple stitch. So we have, now you can see the knot is at the inside of my pant leg, and then I'm going to do about like 1/2 centimeter stitch and just go right back under the fabric. Make sure you don't catch the bottom layer of fabric. The first time I tried this out, I did, and then I had to start over. So just go like that, and then pull it all the way through. I'm kind of using a lot of string right now. I'm not sure if I would recommend that, but see, now it's just gonna make a little knot. I don't like threading needles. I think the embroidery hoop also helps so that you don't poke yourself, which I'm prone to doing. So we just have our first stitch here, and as you can see, there's nothing, you shouldn't see anything on the back of the pant leg, because then it's going to sew it together, and that would kind of defeat the purpose. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep doing stitches. This might be a little farther apart than I want them to, so it depends on the size of the hole you're trying to mend, or if you just want to reinforce part of your clothing that is going to, if you just want to reinforce part of your clothes that might rip in the future, or if like that part of the fabric is just getting super worn down and you want to make sure that it's going to stay secure, you could also do this ahead of time to make that area stronger. So this is our first row. This middle stitch is probably longer than I want it to be, but I'm gonna keep doing these stitches through the entire length of this cut, and then we're gonna go horizontally to make the little crosses that I showed earlier, and then we'll be done. Super simple. You can still like wash it in the laundry machine. That's how it's called. Yeah, you can still wash the clothing. It should be secure enough, and it's a nice mindless activity, especially with finals coming up. So it's been about a half hour, and these are not the most beautiful, but that's okay. So I've just done a running stitch down all of these rows vertically, and now my needle is underneath the fabric, so I like just went under, and it's like coming out through my pant leg, and I'm going to start doing the crosses. I would not recommend, for some reason I decided to vary the lengths of some of my stitches. Not sure that was a good strategy, but I think this is a really flexible method, so depending on how, if you want it to look more homemade, or if you want it to look pretty like neat and tidy, you can make that distinction for yourself. So now I'm just going to take my needle, it's under the jean fabric, see if I like poke here, it's underneath, and then I'm going to start doing the little crosses. So I go like this, which is just another running stitch. Depending on how thick your fabric is, you might have to pull super hard. And then just do a stitch like that. And then we have our first little plus sign, little star. And I will do that for all of the rows now. And I'll show another one to you. Just go underneath, and then make sure you don't poke yourself. So I'm just gonna do that for the rest of them. It is not the prettiest, but it's functional. So after you've finished doing all the horizontal or vertical rows, depending on which way you look at it, you're gonna have your thread like coming through the back of your fabric, and then you can kind of, this is hard because I'm doing it on a jean leg, but if you can see the stitches on the back, you're just going to like wrap the thread around your finger and then slide the needle through like that and tie a knot and try to get it at the base of the fabric, so as close to the bottom as you can. I usually like to do a couple knots to make sure it's super secure, and that is all. Feel free to look more at the description below. There are different designs you can do, and hope this was helpful. This is not going to be a cute angle, but I'm going to do my best. Okay, so these are the jeans, and as you can see, the patch is like on my right knee. Oh, sorry, I can't balance very well. So this technique would really work well, I think, for pants. You could probably do it on like a shirt or a sweatshirt or something, but I might link some other resources for Mending in the description below, especially if you don't want it to show, but I also think it's kind of cute. So I hope this was helpful, and please feel free to reach out if you have any questions.